everyone, this is Amanda at Amanda's Booktopia. If you are new here, welcome, and if not, welcome back. And today, I'm going to show you all the books that I've accumulated in February, some of which are not being added to the TBR because technically I've already read them, but I wanted physical copies of them. So I have at least, was it 20 something? Let me check again. So technically I have 23 books here. So that's at least a little bit better than January. However, I know I need to slow down because my shelves are filling up. I mean, I have some space here, and I have a little bit of space down here, and I have a little more space over there, and some little bit of space over there. So without further ado, let's go right into the books. This first stack, wait, I'm sorry, we have 24 because I forgot one. So this first stack, however, is books I have already read. They are not being added to the TBR because I've read them previously. So let's start with those. And so the first two we have here are part of a series. You have Children of Blood and Bone and Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. I think that's how you pronounce that. I read these two years ago and absolutely loved them. However, there's a new book in the series coming out June 25th, which I have pre-ordered. However, since it's been so long, I want to reread these before jumping into the new one in June. So, in June is also going to be another readathon that I am psyched for. She hasn't announced it yet, so I won't talk much about it, but I really want to hopefully maybe get these into that readathon in June. So I am very excited to have these in my possession so I can finally reread them and read the new one that's coming out. And then the next book we've got is a book that I absolutely loved. Was Powerless by Lauren Roberts. And this was absolutely amazing. I loved it so much. I love Kai. He's everything and more. And I have already read this in December of 2023, and I really wanted to own a physical copy. I have already pre-ordered, what was it? Oh yeah, Powerful, that comes out at the end of April, and Reckless, that comes out July 2nd, I believe. And I wanted, those are going to be, those that I have coming are Barnes & Noble exclusive editions. This one is not exclusive edition, so at some point, I want to replace this with the exclusive edition, but for right now I figured this one would be okay. It's just a regular copy, and it's so good I really wanted to own a physical copy of it. So I'm psyched to have this in my possession. And then the last three are part of another amazing series. So we have A Court of Wings and Ruin, A Court of Frost and Starlight, and we have A Court of Silver Flames. A Court of Silver Flames was my favorite book of the series for lots and lots of reasons. I only own the first two. I'm sure everybody knows what the series is by now because it has blown up everywhere and anywhere. And now Sarah J. Maas is super famous for, I mean, she was on the Today Show. She was on the Kelly Clarkson Show. She's blown up. But I wanted to get the rest of the series because there's a new ACOTAR book that I believe is coming in the fall sometime of this year. So in preparation for that, I wanted to get the rest of the series so I could like reread and refamiliarize with myself before the new book comes out. So I'll probably do that a little bit closer to that time, maybe around September-ish. And thank you, Dana, for encouraging me to read the series in the first place. If it wasn't for you, I would never would have gotten the rest of these books. And that's all the books that I have technically already read. The rest are books that I wanted to get because I wanted to read them. Except this first one, I didn't actually buy myself, and I haven't opened it yet. It's one of those copies Barnes & Noble does where it's like a blind date with the book. This was actually a gift from the wonderful Miss Dana, and she is absolutely amazing, an amazing friend, and she got this for me, which I cannot wait to see what this book is. I have I've been waiting to do a special vlog with this. I don't know if I'll get to it in March, but maybe April. Normally I would have torn into this already, but because I'm starting to do vlogs, I want to do a special vlog just dedicated to this and opening this with my reactions on camera so you guys can all see it. So I am waiting to open this until I'm ready to do that vlog. So, and I've never been this good at not opening a book. So that'll be an adventure. So it says it's YA fantasy, dating competition, class difference, royalty, and slow burn. And I guess on they did, like, for the spice factors, they colored in how much spice it is in the book, and only one's colored in. So I'm guessing the spice level is very, very low. Dana already told me what she thinks it is. I don't know if it's what she thinks, because I think that book is a little bit bigger. But once I get to it, I will find out if she's right or not. I'm hoping it's something that I have not yet read, because the one that Dana thought it was, I have already read. So we will find out when the time gets closer. And then you can see all my reactions. And then the next book that I had to have was The Reaper by Runix. I read The Predator in my last vlog and absolutely loved it. 5 stars and beyond. Like, Tristan is everything. He's up there with Dominic from the Ravenhood, and I'm like, I need the next book. I could not wait for the next book. So I bought it. It was only like 12 something on Amazon, and I cannot wait to continue the series and see what happens. Tristan Kane is a man like no other, and I need to know the rest of his story. And then the next one we've got is Torn by Carrie Cole. This is a romance. I remember when this first came out, like, years ago. This used to have a different cover. However, it looks like, you know, a lot of, like, indie books and indie romance and a lot of things are now being traditionally published. And so technically, this version came out last year in 2023. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Cover copyright was 2024. My bad. So technically this came out like years ago, but this version with this cover is new. And I never read it, and I want to give it a shot. I believe it's like I know it's a romance. Oh, so there's like a friends to lovers kind of romance. And the main guy is her father's best friend. So he's kind of like an uncle to her. So I guess there's probably like an age gap in this, if he's her father's best friend. So we will see how this one goes. I am very much excited to own this because it sounds really good. I'm back into my romance era again, so I can't wait to dip my toes into this one. And the font in it is not too bad. See? So, looking forward to picking this one up. And then next one, I have not yet announced my book club news yet. However, I don't know if I'm going to continue the book club as of right now. Probably going to go on hiatus. But I wanted to read this regardless in March because it just came out like February 20th. And I wanted people to read this with me. I know Jess from Honest Fiction did already read this, and she liked it. However, I don't know what I'm going to do with my book club as of right now. Most likely might get put on hold. But I was excited to get this regardless because I was going to try and get my book for March, my book club, which does not yet have a name. I wanted to get this in there somehow, so this is A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. This is a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. The end pages kind of look like this. And then on the hardback itself, it has like silver foiling, like that, which I think is stunning. And from my understanding, it's like kind of like a spin-off, sort of, very similar to Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo with vampires, is my understanding. I'll do a separate video talking about how I'm feeling about my own book club and all that stuff. But for right now, I do still want to read this for March, so at least myself, I'm going to be reading this. And then the next book we've got is the new compendium by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Visions of Flesh and Blood. This is a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. I've been collecting all the books in the series because at some point I'm thinking of maybe doing a read-along on my channel for those who are interested. I have all of the rest of the books right here behind me. And somehow I managed to get an extra copy of Lighting the Flame. And I don't know how that happened, but it happened. But I wanted to collect all the books so I could read them and binge them all at once. So this is a compendium. So this is not really actually like a book. It's more like a combination of, it's a comprehensive companion guide for background history, reader favorite information, art, and reference materials. And there's some original short stories in here and scenes from the world's most beloved characters, as well as never before seen visual enticements. So this should definitely be interesting. And it's told from the point of view of Miss Willa herself. I don't know who Willa is, because I have not yet read the books. Well, I read the first one like years and years and years ago. Don't remember any of it. So I need to get back into that series again. However, the end pages are very nice. I really like this red. And then the front cover of the actual hardback is red foiling, which I think is absolutely amazing. And then the next book I picked up, there was so much hype around this book, I had to get it because so many people that I watch say how amazing this book is. And I know Karina from She Dreams in Words on Instagram absolutely loves this book. So I mostly got it because of Karina. But I've seen other people read it and really enjoy it, so I got it too. Which is Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. I've heard this is Raylo fanfiction, but I have no clue who Raylo is. I mean, I'm sure people know, and I'm the only one that's not clued in. But the synopsis actually sounds pretty good, though. The main girl is a wedding planner who doesn't believe in marriage, and then the main guy is a florist, and he hates owning a flower shop until the main girl shows up at his door. And apparently they never got over what happened with their relationship 2 years ago. And so they're like reuniting and all this stuff. And I've heard amazing things, so I'm excited to check this out for myself at some point. I mean, this could also possibly work for a Realm-a-thon because I'm on Team Blood, well, the Realm of Blood, basically. And one of our bonus prompts is people on the cover. And there's 2 people on this cover, so this could potentially work for that. And the next book I am super excited for because I really enjoyed the first one. I actually read the first one last month, which it wasn't actually in my TBR, but I did read it. So this is the second book of the Trial of the Sun Queen series by Nisha J. Tooley. This one is Rule of the Aurora King. It's the second one in that series. And I absolutely adored the first one, so I had to buy the second. The first one I actually read for Ashlyn Kaylee. I'm a patron of her Patreon. And we read the first one together in the month of February. And yeah, February. So I really wanted to continue the series because I really enjoyed the first. And I cannot wait to get to this one. It's also a very pretty cover. So I am excited for this one, for sure. And the next one I picked up is actually a little tiny novella. I originally was going to use this during the 72 Hours in the Reading Nook challenge. My bad. Which was hosted by Cassie from Cards with Cassidy, Mel from Eleanor Reads, Lexi from Books with Lexi, and Monica from A Little Bit of Monica. I originally was going to read this for that weekend, and I never got to it. But I do want to check it out at some point, even though I've heard not so good things, but it sounds interesting. And it's Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Kaw. It's like a little horror novella. I have been wanting to check this out. I mean, this is one heck of a cover. It's a little bit scary and creepy, but I'm down for the creepy stuff, so I do want to check this out. Maybe I'll save this. I heard for Ramadan that there's going to be a weekend where you read a whole bunch of books. So maybe I'll save it for that. We will see. And this next one has been making its rounds on BookTube. Anyone who's into romance seems to be loving this series. From people that I've watched, of course. So I decided I needed to own this and read it for myself, because Jess from Honest Fiction said how amazing this book was, and because of the way she was talking about it, I had to get it. And it was like $8.50 on Amazon, so that's a steal. Especially for this chunker of a book. And that's Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. And everyone and their mother seems to be loving the series. And it's a chunky one. I mean, that's a lot of pages. I mean, let me look at the writing. Ooh, the writing is small, man. I mean, look at that writing. That's tiny. I mean, this is one heck of a chunker. How many pages does it actually have? I need to know. 601 pages. Well, I did end up reading House of Flame and Shadow, which was over 800 pages. It was 835. This is just over 600. So I could probably do it. I mean, I don't know if I want to do this anytime soon, though. I mean, it could work for Ramadan because one of my bonus prompts is people on the cover. And there's 2 people on this cover. I just don't know if I'm ready to read another chunker so soon after reading House of Flame and Shadow. But at some point, I do want to try out the series. So I will be checking this out some point in the near future. And then the next book I picked up was actually a pre-order. A Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, If Only I Had Told Her by Laura Nowlin. I own the first one of the series and have not yet read it, but I pre-ordered this anyways. And I need to read the first one before I can even read this one. So I don't even really know much about the series as a whole. However, I think there's like a romance, but I don't know much. So I'm not going to talk about this one, mostly because it's the second book, and I haven't even read the first, so I got books to read. That seems I definitely need to read the first one before I can even get to this one. But I love this cover. It's a very pretty cover. And I love the rose. So I had to have this book just for the cover. So, yeah. I need to do some reading. And then the book of the month, I picked up 2 books. These are both main picks for book of the month for February. And I had to have this one in particular because I really, really enjoy a lot of her books. So this is The Woman by Kristen Hanna. I have heard a lot of amazing things about this book, and she's a really great author. I've read a bunch of other books by her. My favorite ones that I've read from her so far were Winter Garden and The Nightingale. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. I know this takes place during the Vietnam War, and that's all I really remember. But anytime I read a Kristen Hanna book, I fall in love with it. So I'm without a doubt sure I'm going to love this one. And then the other book that I got from Book of the Month, for the month of February, is Heartless Hunter from the Crimson Moth series. Well, this is the first one, but it says book 1 at the bottom. So I know it's going to be a series. And it's supposed to be a witchy book. And from my understanding, it's supposed to be very similar to Serpent and Dove, which I absolutely love Serpent and Dove. I still need to finish that series. I still need to read the 3rd book in that series. But this one reminded me so much of Serpent and Dove that I had to have it. So I'm very much excited to check this one out and see if I love it just as much, because it sounds so good. I think it's about a witch and a witch hunter, just like Serpent and Dove. And then the next book I grabbed was House of Ash and Shadow by Leah Stone. This is a YA fantasy, and fantasy romance is one of my absolute favorite genres, and from my understanding, this is one of them. I don't really know much. I think I want to make it stay that way. I don't want to know, this is supposed to be book 1 of a series, So I want to kind of keep myself a little bit of blind going into this one. I don't want to read, I mean, I could read the back, but I'm choosing not to. Because I think I kind of want to go into this one blind. And then the next three are little novellas. So we have, I think I got them in the wrong order, but we have Unite Me and Find Me and Believe Me by Tahira Mafi. These three are from the Shatter Me series, and my dad got me the box set of the main books. However, the box set did not come with the novellas, and no series is complete without the little novellas. So I had to get them, and so I could complete my set of all the books. I read the first three like ages back, and I remember a little bit. But I want to like start over from the beginning and actually read it completely through, along with the novellas. And I am very excited to reread the first three and read the rest of the series, because I really enjoyed the ones that I have read, and I want to go back and read it all. Next, we have A Midnight Ruin by Katie Robert. I love Katie Robert's writing. Most of her books that I've read from her are absolutely amazing. This is the most recent book from the Dark Olympus series. I own all the others. I've already read the first three of the series, which is Neon Gods, and then Electric Idol, and Wicked Beauty. Those ones were really, really good. And I was told that eventually in the series there's an overarching plot. I think that's how you call it. Yeah, so like the first little bit of the series is like completely standalone, and then there's like this whole plot that covers all the rest of the books. So I need to go back to where I left off and read the rest of the series before I can get to this one. So I need to read Radiant Sin and Cruel Seduction. Yep, it's those two. Yeah, so it's just those two. Radiant Sin and Cruel Seduction. And then this one is the most recent. And I also found out there's going to be a new book in the series that comes out in August. So I have time to get through the rest of the series before it comes out. I just got to make sure I read them. Because I really enjoy her books. I mean, I read Desperate Measures, which is Aladdin reimagining or retelling or something like that. That one was decent. Gave it 4 stars. I do have a couple of other Katie Robert books. I have Cora the Vampire Queen, and I also have Dark Succession. And then last but not least, the last book in this haul, which I am super excited for this one, that is Destroy the Day by Brigitte Kemmer. I read Defy the Night and Defend the Dawn, which I own right over here on my shelf. And absolutely loved those two books. This is basically like a retelling of Robin Hood with fantasy thrown in, and it's amazing. Absolutely love it. Plus, this cover is beautiful. I am in love with this cover. And on the naked hardback itself, it has like silver foiling of like little flower leaves, which I think is so pretty. And I definitely want to finish this series. This is the last book that I need to read. And I heard this one's a doozy. So I cannot wait to read this one, because I'm sure that it's going to finish an amazing series. The first two, I mean, I highly recommend this series as a whole. I mean, I haven't read this one yet, but I cannot wait to do so. And Defy the Night and Defend the Dawn are absolutely amazing. I think everybody should be reading it. Probably some of my favorite YA fantasy that I've read, which is saying a lot because I've read a lot of them. But if you have not yet read this series, or I would definitely try it, because she does very well with YA fantasy. I absolutely love her Curse So Dark and Lonely series, and Forging Silver into Stars was a pretty good one as well, which I also have on my shelf over here. And I also have her Elemental series, I think it's called. So I have not read any of those yet, but I do want to. And that is all the books that I have hauled for the month of February. Tomorrow is March 1st, so I'm not buying any more books. At least for this month. I already have some pre-orders coming for March 5th. So I will put those on my March book haul. So that was all the books that I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give me a huge thumbs up. If you want to see more bookish content from me, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. And I'll see you all next time.